You motherfucker tube. It's your boy Rollo Jenkins here. Man, I've been watching quite a few guys' videos last few days, and most interestingly, as of late, a new cat that I just got up on, my boy, this dude named Zone 6, and he made a very interesting video, man. You know what I'm saying? I recommend everybody go check out his channel. But it's I believe it was his last video, and he said that we got to step up as boxing fans. Also, as boxing fans, we have to uphold some type of integrity when it comes to the sport of boxing. Now, every sport, no matter what, has its favorites or its darlings, whether it be baseball when it comes to professionals with the Yankees, or college football with the USCs and Ohio States, or it's basketball with, you know, putting the fucking Miami Heat on every damn Christmas now, or New Year's Day game. They all have their darlings. But also what they have is integrity. There is an integral part of every aspect in each other sport there is. If you make the cut for the US Open and you're ranked number 64, you have a chance to fucking win. Because 64 usually doesn't make it, does not grant them the chance. They fucking lose on the court. So in boxing, it's not set up to have integrity. So it's up to us, the hardcore boxing fans, to try and inject some type of integrity in the game, in the boxing game, because these greedy ass promoters and these fucked up bias ass networks won't do it. I know everybody is gonna have their favorites and their bias. That's a given. Everybody is, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has who they like and who they don't like, and so what and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, there's no pecking order in boxing that keeps the favoritism from being grotesque. You know, no matter how much the Big Ten might want Ohio State and Michigan to be undefeated at the end of the season, they still got to play Wisconsin and Penn State and Michigan State and Illinois. They have to. And if Illinois ends up undefeated, guess what? They'll be playing in the fucking Big Ten championship game. There is no denying that. They're not going to pick Michigan anyways just because, or pick Ohio State anyways just because. It doesn't work like that. Boxing needs some type of integral system that grants each man his own opportunity. Everybody doesn't get an opportunity. Somehow, some way, we have to figure out how we can pump this shit to the point where everybody gets an opportunity. Now, it's one thing when a person gets some sort of chance and they blow it. But the fact of the matter is, some dudes go on long stretches, annihilating opponents, never losing fights, sometimes even rounds. But they're never granted a chance to go up the ladder when it comes to the opponents that they get to fight. Now, I understand to the degree that people come with this argument that this person doesn't bring anything to the table or they don't have a fan base. Well, fan bases are based upon opponents that you have on your resume. Do you think that Floyd Mayweather would be as popular as he is had he not ever fought Oscar De La Hoya? Nah. Let's take Zab Judah out of there and Arturo Gatti. Think he'd be as popular? Nah, not at all. But now we're in this era of low risk, high reward. I'll duck you for a purpose or a reason. And when dudes in the boxing game show no integrity, us as boxing fans gotta show them fuckers no love. See, part of the reason that boxing isn't as popular as most other sports is because in boxing, people usually attach themselves to a particular team or a person outside of what they do on the court or field. So let's say, for instance, Serena Williams. If you're a fucking black woman, you might just associate yourself with Serena Williams just for that reason. If you live on the West Coast, you might fuck with the Williams sisters strictly for that reason because they're from California. You might just like big ol' asses, and that's why you like Serena, like myself. But whatever the reason is, you fuck around and watch her play because you've associated something with yourself and that person, that individual. You know, maybe you're a flashy motherfucker and you like Adrian Broner or Floyd Mayweather. You know, or maybe you got some hella brush waves and that's why you fuck with Adrian Broner, or you rock a bald head, that's why you fuck with Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your last name in with a Z, that's why you fuck with Alvarez or Marquez or Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you Mexican or Hispanic. You know, maybe you Puerto Rican, that's why you ride with Cotto. Or maybe you just a light-skinned motherfucker, that's why you ride with Cotto. Or you grew up in the same neighborhood he did. You know, you get where I'm going. But with boxing, we still do that, but there's very little exposure for you to even know and get a chance to attach yourself to certain people, because everybody doesn't get an opportunity. For instance, just last year, watching the basketball playoffs, and I haven't watched the NBA seriously like I did last year in a long time, I became a really big fan of the Indiana Pacers. Now, they might not do shit this year, and they progressively got better, you know what I'm saying? But that fucking playoff series with the Heat made me big fans of the fucking Indiana Pacers. I'm a big fan of the Pacers now. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I'm looking forward to during the NBA season is watching the Indiana Pacers. Like, I can't wait to see and keep up with the Indiana Pacers based on what they did for the last 2 seasons. But the only reason that I was even able to feel the way that I feel is because the integrity in basketball, which granted them the opportunity to even play the Miami Heat without the bureaucratic bullshit that goes on in boxing. That's why I'm a big fan of Keith Thurman also. He showed me shit that I haven't seen in a while, you know? He looked good in every fight that I've seen him in. Not completely dominant, but he showed me a different facet of his game in each and every fight. The boy reminds me of a throwback fighter, an old school fighter. This motherfucker gets in there, he takes care of business. You know what I'm saying? He gave you a funny ass interview when he called out the wrong city and shit. And somebody must have hushed him up, because I remember one of his first interviews where he said that he wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather. But now, when he gets in there, it's always, you know, the same political bullshit that everybody says. I'm going to leave it up to my manager, or I'm going to see what my promoting team does, and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that shit, man. Say who you want to fight. Put that shit out there. Put that shit in the air, man. Like a weed smoker say, man, put that shit in the air, dog. Fuck you gonna hold on to that shit for? Politicking for, man. Put that shit in the air. You know what I'm saying? And his personality, see, like, Broner to me is a corny motherfucker. Because he always says he's being himself, but you can't help but to associate the young Broner and the young Mayweather. When Mayweather did it, we had a break from it. You know what I'm saying? It was other people who done that shit, but we had a nice break from it. We didn't have two motherfuckers doing that shit at the same time. You know what I mean? So, for me, he needed to come with something completely different. You know what I mean? At first, it was kind of okay. It was cool, to brush my hair and, all that shit. But now, this other shit, man, it's just, I can't fuck with it, man. I can't. It don't sit well with me. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not a fan of him. And also, another thing about boxing is these same motherfuckers keep getting regurgitated without like Shane Mosley, Zab Judah. Why the fuck do their names keep coming up for fights when they act like there are no more boxers in the fucking world or something, man? There ain't nobody else who deserves to be on the undercard of a main event or a big time fight. Nobody else deserves to be on the undercard. Nobody else deserves a boxing after dark. But fucking Shane Mosley and Zab Judah and Amir Khan keep getting regurgitated and shit. And then if these motherfuckers gonna lose, shouldn't they have to fight their way back up to the top? But they keep getting shot after shot after shot, while other people can't even suck dick for a fight. But they just keep getting shot after shot after shot, after loss after loss after loss. You know what I mean? The boxing game needs integrity in order for people to follow it. And like Floyd Mayweather said, all of these damn belts don't make no sense. It takes 50% of the integrity away when 3, 4, or 5 people within 5 pounds of each other can call themselves champion of the world. The only sport. It's the only sport. There are no 2 Stanley Cup winners in one season. There are no 2 NBA champions holding up the O'Brien Trophy at the end of the season. There are not 4 teams playing in a Super Bowl. There's only 1 national champion in college. There's only 1 World Series champion, 1 Wimbledon champion, 1 U.S. Open champion, 1 Augusta champion. There's only 1 green jacket. Boxing is the only sport where you get 4 and 5 motherfuckers. Wait. Like Floyd says, how the fuck does him and Cotto fight for the WBA championship, then Canelo and Trout fight for the WBA championship in the same fucking month? That don't even make sense, man. That don't even make sense. It's ridiculous. That's why I pay no attention to this world champion shit and this 2 and 3 time world champion and 4 or 5 weight class champion and all that bullshit. And then also, even when people start to use an argument and they bring up he was a world champion shit, I almost completely ignore them when they say something like that, because it's such a ridiculous argument to use, man. It's such a ridiculous argument. They hand out belts, man. It's easier to get your dick sucked by a fucking famous actress than it is to fucking be a world champion, man. I mean, it's like they handing out belts and shit, dog. Like, they just handing them shits out, you know? I mean, if you just look at it, I mean, you could watch Friday night fucking fights. It be motherfucker on his 6th fight and he walk into the ring with some type of belt and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So one of the things I believe to start to restore or to inject some integrity into the sport is to stop paying attention to these motherfucking sanctioning bodies. Don't mention that shit in no videos. Don't talk about that shit. Don't pay no credence to it, because nobody gives a fuck about the WBA championship, the WBC championship, or the IBF motherfucking championship, when these motherfuckers got the nerve to be making champions in recess, interim champions, super champions, and diamond champions. You know what I'm saying? So it's bad enough that we got now 4 recognized world championships in each weight class. These motherfuckers got the nerve to be making interim, super, and diamond champions also. So you mean to tell me that we could literally have 13 to 14 motherfuckers staking a claim to a championship in one division? And we talking about a division that could be separated by 5 pounds, man. Some divisions even less. 2 pounds. It's absolutely ridiculous. Please, when we debate boxing, absolutely do not mention these motherfucking sanctioning bodies when you're making an argument about what the fuck is a world champion. As a matter of fact, to start clarifying shit, you know what I'm saying? I know that everybody has their own rankings and shit. You know, the Ring Magazine, the WBA, ESPN, the YTBC, the Boxing Voice, Eastside Boxing. There needs to be some type of organization that we all recognize, say that that's gonna be the champ, and then hold that motherfucker accountable for bullshit when bullshit pops up. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna pick the Ring Magazine's title, or the WBA, or the WBC, or the IBF, and just stick with that one and phase all these other motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, if college football can cut down on the amount of conferences that it has, realignment, we definitely can do the same thing in boxing. You know what I mean? Shit, man, that's my this is just my quick response to my boy Zone 6 out of Georgia. I hear you, boy. And my next vid, I'm gonna put out my official Danny Garcia versus Lucas Matisse prediction. It's the only fight on that card that I think deserves a prediction. It's the only fight on the card that I don't think that everybody absolutely positively knows who's gonna win. 99.9% sure. You know, that's a real good matchup there. But it's your boy Rallo Jr.